How you doing, everybody? This is Elvis from Rick and Welvis. Today we're just going to be talking about this video I made. It's called Mount Blackheart. And many people who saw it didn't really understand it. It didn't really make any sense. So on this video, I'm just going to kind of clear some things up, explain the backstory, and, just try to kind of explain what I was kind of going for and all that stuff. So anyway, without further ado, let's begin. So basically a whole year ago, about March 5th, I think March 3rd of 2016, me, Daniel, and Eric climbed this mountain that I call Mount Blackheart. And Mount Blackheart, I call it that for a couple of reasons, and mostly because it looks like the face of the mountain looks like it has a big, black heart on it. Let me see if I can get a good picture of that. Sorry, the thing's loading up. This is my editing software, by the way, guys. Movavi Video Editor 10. It's pretty decent. This is what the editing file looks like. The editing project. It took me a lot of time, put a lot of work into it. As you can see, all those cuts and transitions and everything, effects and everything. Yeah, guys. That's what I put into this video. Spent a lot of time on it. Here. It should be in here now. Hold on one sec, guys. There it is. See, this Mount Blackheart, we call it that because it's a very volcanic area, and it's got, it must have been a volcanic, it's, it looks like maybe it was a volcano or a caldera or something, and, lava started leaking out the side, like, magma leaked out the side a little bit, and it just happened to go out in the shape of like a heart. And so that's why we call it Mount Blackheart, because it's like a black broken heart, it's kind of cool, man. So anyway, when we climbed that the first time, it was really, it was a green, it was, just starting to get pretty green, and it was really freaking windy. Kind of a nasty day, really. And we didn't really make it to the top because we climbed it straight up this face, which is like 90 degrees, no joke. So can you imagine climbing up that? It was just not, it didn't really work. Anyway, so we didn't make it to the top. Me and Daniel made it up here, but that's not really the top. There's another hill behind it. If you guys have seen the video, you know what I'm talking about. But this is about where me and Daniel made it a little higher than this, but Eric decided to just kind of stop and smell the roses. He didn't really see a point if we were going to make it to the top to make it any higher. So he was just kind of sitting in this cool place we were hanging out, just kind of looking off into the distance, enjoying it. So I can't blame him for that. But anyway, me and Daniel, especially after Eric left, we were disappointed that we didn't make it to the top. So we were telling each other for like a whole freaking year, like, dude, we gotta finish that mountain. We gotta go together and climb this thing, make it to the damn top. So so we ended up finally doing it almost a whole year later. Actually, the day before, I told Daniel, I was like, we can't keep putting this off, man. If tomorrow we're climbing it, no matter if lava's falling from the sky. I think his girlfriend made fun of me for saying that because it's kind of ridiculous and stupid, but so we ended up climbing it the next day, about February 25th or so of 2017, almost a whole year later. A day very similar to this day. It was just starting to get pretty green, and it was really freaking windy, extremely freaking windy. And it was a little bit earlier in the day though, but it was a day just like the day that we went on almost a whole year ago. So the lens of this video was trying to see it through two different lenses of time, the past and the present, and how when you're in a place in very similar conditions that you haven't been to in a long time, and you just go to it almost a whole year later, or how many ever years later, you feel this feeling of vertigo, even though you're not trying to be nostalgic and trying to remember back to the past events that happened in that area or whatever that location was, a different point in time later in the future. it's almost like your mind does it uncontrollably. So that's kind of what these weird little static effects were from the video that most people didn't understand, which I don't blame them, because it really didn't make much sense. But so that's kind of what that meant, guys. All those little static weird effects and stuff, that was supposed to represent, the your mind is like when you're in a place, the same place in space, same point in space, but a different point in time, way later in the future. It's like your mind automatically remembers back to these moments, and that's kind of why I would look off. Like here, a good example was when I pointed over at this mountain that me and John climbed in the video Hike with a Friend. I put a couple flash images from that hike, and it's like, it's supposed to represent two different lenses of time, and that's a recurring theme throughout the video, because that's what I was feeling at the time. And also this music, it's great band. I don't know if it's a band, but whoever makes the music, it's called This Will Destroy You. They make this really cool ambient music. A lot of the work went into getting the video to line up with the rising and falling action of the music, and vice versa. Like, for example, over here, I think I actually got a whole bunch of video clips to line up with the beat of the music. You guys can go back and listen to that. I actually recorded this video earlier, and I did a reaction to the video, but I don't really want to do that again. I don't know what happened. The video got corrupted or something, so I really just have to re-record this now. And that whole part was too long, and you guys can just rewatch it with this in mind for yourselves to try to re-experience it with this new knowledge. If you didn't understand what the weird little statics and flashed pictures were or what they represented, now you know. It's your mind vertigo, like uncontrollably remembering back to the past because of the conditions and the location that you're experiencing at the time. Like, here's a really good example. I'll show you like this like little thing really quick. See, there's me and Daniel standing in the same spot that we went to and hung out for a long time with Eric almost a whole year ago, and standing at this same spot, we're both almost experiencing this weird uncontrollable nostalgia. Images are flashing into our head, memories from the last time we were there. So then, static is supposed to represent that uncontrollable feeling, and then these other pictures, two different moments in time, but the same location, two different moments in time. That's what those pictures were, and that's kind of what the whole theme of the video was, and getting it to line up with this very, kind of this music that, it just represents the feeling well, the mood well, feeling the force of nature push us, that really strong wind pushing us, and we felt that same push by the wind in the same spot almost a whole year ago, and those same conditions, it triggers these weird memories from the last time we went there, even though we weren't necessarily really trying to remember back. It's just the fact that your mind does what it wants, it just kind of, here's a spot me and Daniel were staring at this mountain. Me and Eric actually climbed that in our backpacking trip, almost like, not a whole year ago, but, a few months ago, before this hike, about 6 or 7 months ago, we climbed to the top after we spent the night in a tent. That's like a sister mountain, and we were just looking over there. So I get that it wouldn't make sense for most of you guys, but that being said, that's what the meaning of this video was. Two different moments in time, but the same point in space, and the very similar conditions, triggering these moments of nostalgia and memory. I'm sure some of you can relate. You may have experienced vertigo or anything like that in the past, who knows. But anyway, guys, that's basically what the meaning of the video was, if you didn't understand. And if you like the video, I mean, give this a thumbs up, and if it makes sense to you, just, you know, write in the comments if you've had any feeling of vertigo in the past, and if you have a new appreciation for the video and what it stands for. That would mean a lot to me, man, because I put a lot of work into this video. I was really kind of channeling the emotion I felt at the time about the video, and it's just, that's how I felt when I was climbing it, man. Vertigo, you know, reverting back to my past self, remembering these moments of the past, reliving it, both physically and mentally. It's I was even wearing basically the same clothes as I wore back then too. It's just it's that feeling of vertigo, man. Seeing something or experiencing something at a different time, but you know, again, it's basically the same experience but a different time. It triggers a flashback uncontrollably. So anyway, guys, if you like this deep type of conversational talk, check out, it's in our featured channels list, Compelling Conversation channel. It's a podcast channel, really good quality audio and shit. If you guys want to hear Elvis talk deep and stuff like this again, go to that channel. If you guys like this video, leave a thumbs up, comment. I really want to hear your experiences of vertigo and stuff, if this video made sense and all that stuff. And make sure to like and subscribe. Tell your friends, tell your family. Anyone who may have watched this video, tell them to check out this thing if it didn't make sense to them. And yeah, guys, again, I hope you enjoyed. Thanks for being my loyal viewers. I don't know what I'd do without you guys. So, thanks for that. Anyway, I'll see you.